Hello, it's Kelsey, the Little Witchy Mama, and we are continuing our series today on learning astrology by examining our natal charts and the influences of the moon. So this episode we are focusing on the new moon in Sagittarius coming up on June 11th, 2025. And today I'm examining the chart of Matthew, who was hoping that I could do this for him. Just a reminder that if you guys like, subscribe, and comment in the video or DM me on any of my socials, I will pick one person for each full or new moon to dive into your natal birth chart and what the transit of that moon means for you specifically. So today we are working on Matthew's chart, and let's go through it together. I already talked about basics of finding good references and like the basic walkthroughs of how we're going to do this together in my first video. So if you haven't watched that one, you can go back and just kind of watch that intro, and then we can dive right in today. It really can involve anything that's expanding your intellectual horizons, which pairs great with the energy of Sagittarius, which is all about philosophy and higher learning, seeking truth, those types of things. So some general information: this full moon is in the sign of Sagittarius, fiery Sagittarius, very active, philosophical, truth-seeking Sagittarius. The moon is also in a trine with Chiron and Mars. And Chiron is the planet of like the wounded healer. It's kind of showing you where like your deepest wounds come from in your life. But paired with Mars is kind of interesting because Mars is sort of this planet of like action and drive. And so with the energy of Sagittarius and the energy of this being a full moon, this kind of indicates generally that this is a really good time to take action towards letting go of the things that are, affecting you, things that have wounded you deeply in your lifetime, doing like the emotional work in order to change that. When we think about a full moon, the sun is fully illuminating that moon. The sun is putting light on our emotional sphere, which is what the moon represents. And so we are fully able to like see an aspect like what our emotions are in these certain states. And so with that trine between Mars and Chiron, like it's a very favorable time to be doing kind of the self-work on old wounds, deep wounds, childhood wounds, that type of stuff. And as you will see as I go into this reading of Matt's chart, I really love, just like the astrological timing of things. It's always so interesting to me. So if we have a look at Matt's chart and we look for where the little orange moon is on the outer circle, that's our transiting planets. And we can come down to the center of that, see, yes, okay, it's in Sagittarius, we've covered that basis. And we come down and we can see that it's transiting Matt's 9th house of mental exploration and long distance travel. So it's lighting up this area of your chart where it's like a good time to kind of like turn inwards to really think about like that mental exploration. A full moon transiting the 9th house also really speaks to this energy of like personal development that you might feel like you're going through. Like this personal development is something that you're really motivated about and working towards. It's like generally trying to broaden your horizons, break free of routine, and that's very much what Sagittarius is about. So that's extra lending to that energy. So you might be feeling some sort of way where you're like, I need to like break free of the routine, or I need to break free of something in my daily life, something that maybe is making me feel stagnant or stuck. I'm looking for expansion. I'm looking to broaden my mind. I'm looking to experience new things, new people, new places. Sagittarius loves to travel. So this is probably very much on your mind right now. So here in Matt's chart personally, the transit is sextile his Lilith black moon. And the Lilith black moon kind of shows aspects of ourselves where we feel shame or feel repressed. And specifically for this placement, you have this this Lilith in Libra, which really kind of points towards ideas of insecurities relating to self-worth. You may have grown up in a childhood home that was full of conflict and that had very little peace, whether that was because there were parents fighting or just tense family situations, things of that nature. There was just a lot of conflict for you growing up through your childhood. And as an adult, people who have a Lilith in Libra are very likely to be conflict avoiders. You do not like to get into conflict. You do what you can to make the peace, or you have a tendency to kind of like end relationships, friendships, like any kind of interactions with people when conflict starts to arise, you're like, oh, nope, and off you go to the next thing. Because of that, it makes you someone who struggles to get close to people, ultimately resulting in feelings of being unlovable, unworthy of love. You crave acceptance for who you are. You crave to be appreciated by the people close to you, but you also have a hard time connecting because you're quick to just move away from those high conflict situations. Matt's natal Lilith is also in his 7th house of marriage and committed partnerships. So this speaks to this being a particular issue when it comes to serious committed partnerships. You may find that when you first start dating, like looking at like sort of the 5th house of dating and friendships and things, that those early experiences are more positive, but then when it comes to getting close to people, this Lilith Black Moon in Libra in your 7th house brings up a lot of deep shame, repression, and things that you need to work through in order to be fulfilled in that area of your life, which is also super interesting because if you look at Matt's chart, he has all of these planets in his 7th house, suggesting that the 7th house, actually it's a stellium, but this really suggests that the 7th house of committed partnerships and marriage is a very, very, very important theme in your life, either something that you commit to very strongly or you have strong ideals about it. It might be very important to you to get married, or there might be like a lot of back and forth, and we'd have to dive a lot deeper into that aspect. But as this reading is just particularly for the new moon, I'm just going to focus on the Chiron because it is aspected to this, full moon, not new moon. Yeah, so with this Black Moon and Lilith, it is really important to learn to heal from this. The Black Moon Lilith in our chart shows us the things that we need to work on to heal, to learn to not feel shame and repression about. So this is a big issue for you, and the themes of your life where learning to communicate effectively and get through conflicts, and because conflicts happen in relationships, whether they're good relationships or bad relationships, there will always be conflict at some point. And so there are some wounds that need to be healed in regards to that. Now, looking at this Sagittarius full moon as it transits your 9th house of mental expansion, this is kind of asking you to do a bit of a deep dive into yourself. It's asking you to expand beyond your comfort zone and seek answers and seek truth. And the fact that it's positioned sextile to this Black Moon Lilith is only emphasizing this issue. It's asking you need to dive deep specifically about this. So it's asking you to examine the things specifically that bring you fear, the things that you choose not to open up about, and what cause you to feel some sense of shame. And it's also asking you to learn to communicate those things, because communicating them to a close partner, an intimate partner, is ultimately what is going to help you heal these wounds and start to move forward into the better version of yourself. The way that the moon is transiting sextile to Black Moon Lilith also does have some positive things about how it makes this an easy time for you to try and express yourself intuitively and emotionally. It's a good time and an easier time for you to express repressed emotions and follow your intuition. The moon's nurturing energy, shining a light on this aspect for you, is offering you support to dive a little bit deeper into things that may have caused hurt or trauma, while not having it be too emotionally uplifting or emotionally traumatic, giving you a bit of stability in dealing with those things. It's a great time to express your shadow self, your shadow traits, do shadow work, or even communicate with partners about unresolved issues, or with friends and family. And ultimately, that's going to bring you closer. And all of this really says that this is a good time for you to think about these things and start doing this work so that we can let go of all of those past hurts and things that we're carrying with us into these next lunar cycles. Sagittarius and Gemini moons are the most positive. They're the two most positive characters of the zodiac. They're very optimistic. Sagittarius, being ruled by Jupiter, is the planet of luck and optimism. It's what we got going for us. So Sagittarius full moon is a great time to do this work, because even though maybe we're diving into some themes for you that are a little more difficult, you're facing it with optimism and luck that, that you can approach these issues and do work that will be in your favor and help you ultimately. So that's about it that I have for this reading for Matt. If you're watching this video and you would like to have your chart be read in the next new moon coming up, please like and follow and leave a comment, or find me on my other socials to DM me about your birth time, city, date, and where you're living now, so that I can choose one random person to do a reading for next month. See you guys then.